the shore, diners, tomatoes. They all help put New Jersey on the map. But beer? Maybe it ought to be. According to the Garden State Brewer's Guide, New Jersey is home to 15 brew pubs and microbreweries. The Greater Morris area alone is home to several award-winning brew pubs, including Long Valley Pub and Brewery in Long Valley.
Welcome to the Long Valley Pub and Brewery in Long Valley, New Jersey. My name is Joe Saya. I'm the head brewer here. I've been the head brewer here for 13 years, and my responsibility here is the beer. The production of the beer, the quality of the beer, and to make sure my customer has a beer whenever they need it, 7 days a week, all year long. The way we get started with our brew days, we take raw materials here to make our product, which in this case is beer, all right? We start with what's called malted barley. This is raw barley seed that is malted. Malting is just a fancy word for germination. So what a maltster does is he starts that seed growing and then he stops it at some point. We mix it with warm water. As far as that seed knows, it's springtime, so it's time to start its energy going and convert its starches into sugars. Sugar is what we're looking for out of our raw material. That process takes about 60 minutes. So in 60 minutes, we take our raw malted barley, we convert all its starches to sugars, and at that point, what we want to do is take that liquid, that nice sweet liquid, at this point we call wort, and transfer it into our kettle. What I have here is a 7-barrel brew system. What that basically means is at any given point, I can brew about 240 gallons of beer per batch. The way we dictate our flavor profile is with those different malted barleys. We could get nice dark malted barley, we could get nice light malted barley, and we can get anything in between. And if I've done my job right, by the time I'm done, I have a full kettle with the exact flavor profile I'm looking for, which includes the right amount of sugar content, the right color, and the right flavor profile. Sugar at this point is very important to us because sugar is what our yeast is going to consume, and the byproduct of that is going to be alcohol and carbon dioxide. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to add hops. Hops are the spices of beer, if you can think about that. What hops do for us, number one, they're a natural antimicrobe, so they help stabilize our product. But what they also do is they give us bitterness, they give us hop flavor, and they give us nice hop aroma. Let me give you a shot of this. This is what we call our hop back, and you can see we're going to run our boiling wort through this hose into our hop back, and as you can see, we have a big bag of hops in there. So our wort runs through that big bag of hops. From here, it runs right through our manifold here, still at about 212 degrees. And what it did in here is it extracted all those hop oils and all that flavor and aroma from those hops. From here, we run through this guy right here. This is a heat exchanger, and it does exactly as the name implies. It exchanges heat. So we go from 212-degree boiling wort down to 70-degree wort in about 3 seconds, so it's very efficient. Obviously, we're boiling again to kill any microbes or anything else that may live on our product. We don't want anything else living on that product. We have to sanitize it. We don't want it going downstairs hot, or else, of course, it's going to kill our yeast. So that's why we use our heat exchanger. At that point, it runs directly downstairs into our fermenter, and that's where we add our yeast to get that whole fermentation process going. And if you want, we'll go downstairs and we'll look at that, and I'll show you exactly where and when and how that happens. Come right on into our fermentation room. This is where the magic happens. Let me talk to you a little bit about what goes on in here. At this point, we've run that wort through our heat exchangers that we talked about earlier. Our wort is now in this vessel, which has been sanitized, nice and clean, nice and sanitary. 70 degrees, I add our yeast. Where do we get our yeast? Well, from a previous fermentation, you can see we have an active fermentation here. Our yeast grows up on this. At the end of fermentation, it drops down to the bottom, goes dormant, if you will, and it's ready to go to work whenever I ask it to. So what I do is I come down to my little valve here, I open it up, I put it into a sanitary vessel, I hook it up to my valve in here, I pump it right back into this vessel, and that's when the magic starts. That yeast, for lack of a better term, comes to life. It's hungry and needs to eat, and what it eats is the sugar. It's going to convert that sugar in this wort to alcohol. and carbon dioxide. Alcohol, we all know what that does for us. The carbon dioxide is what gives us that bubbles in the beer. It's what makes us feel good when we put it in our mouth. It's what makes it visually appealing. What we have here is the product of what we did today. Our first sample we took today is a very sweet, thick liquid that is probably about 30% sugar here. By the time we're done rinsing our grains and everything and washing all that sugar away, being as efficient as we can, now we have a very thin product with very little sugar in it. This is what we send down to the fermenter. As you can see, there's some hop bits in there, a lot of protein that is broken out, but this is what we're looking for. This is that nice, sweet hopped wort that our yeast is going to turn into what we call beer. Okay? This, where I am right now, is our bar at the Long Valley Pub and Brewery. Most of our customers, they have no idea of how we go from this to this. And it's really not important that they understand how we got there. What is important is that they do appreciate what we do in the flavor and in the love that goes into this product here. Right now, we're lucky enough and proud enough to say we are the most award-winning brew pub in New Jersey at the Great American Beer Festival. So again, we're real proud of that, and it is really nice to be recognized by your peers in the industry for the hard work you do. You guys go have a beer and enjoy yourself. I gotta get back to work.